Hello, Algebra 1 class. Today you are going to continue practicing adding and subtracting polynomials. These are your guided practice problems. Let's start off with guided practice problem number 1. What I would like you to do, please, on GP number 1 is to add x squared plus 3x plus 2 to 2x squared minus 4x plus 2. Go ahead and pause the video, work on the problem, and then hit play to see the solution. So for the solution of this problem, essentially all you need to do is combine some like terms. Sometimes you might not have a highlighter, so I'll demonstrate a way to keep track of things without a highlighter. For example, I'm going to underline x squared and 2x squared. They both have squared in them. That makes them like terms. I'm going to go ahead and combine them. X squared plus 2x squared is 3x squared. Looking at my next exponent down, I have 3x and I have a negative 4x. I add those two guys together, 3x minus 4x, and I should get a negative 1x. And last but not least, I have a positive 2 and a positive 2. Combine those like terms, you end up with positive 4. We end up with a trinomial for our answer. I used an underlining method to help keep track of my like terms so that I know which ones I've already added together. Go ahead and pause now if you need to continue looking at the problem. Otherwise, let the video play to see GP number 2. Okay, class, this is GP number 2. Please go ahead and copy down the problem and pause the video to give yourself some time in order to simplify this problem. Go ahead and hit play to watch the solution. So this problem says 2x squared minus 4x plus 3 plus x squared minus 4x minus 4. Again, I'm going to use the underline technique in order to combine some like terms. I see my x squareds are right there. So that gives me, 2x squared plus x squared gives me 3x squared. I'm going to go ahead and change my pen color to illustrate a point. I've got negative 4x and another negative 4x. I combine those to give me negative 8x, because remember, a negative plus a negative gives you another negative number. Moving on, last but not least, I have my constants. There's my positive 3 and my negative 4. I get negative 1 as that answer when combined. So 3x squared minus 8x minus 1 should be your solution. Go ahead and pause the video now if you need to continue looking at that solution. Otherwise, the video will play on. Alright, class, this is GP number 3. Now I'm going to have you guys subtract for some practice. So 2x squared plus 3x minus 5 minus 2x plus 8 plus x squared. Please note that these are both trinomials and we are trying to subtract them. Pause the video in order to have an opportunity to work on the problem and hit play to see the solution. So looking at the solution, a big reminder that there is a negative 1 out here, and everything on the second term, all second polynomial, needs to change because it's being multiplied by a negative. You then proceed to rewrite your full equation. You can use either the vertical method or the horizontal method. Make sure you use some form of tracking to make sure that you know you've combined your like terms. Something that makes this problem tricky is that the terms are out of order. The terms are no longer in an order. So when we combine that 2x squared with negative x squared, I do get a positive x squared. Moving along in the process, I see I also have a single variable 3x and negative 2x. You combine those, 3 minus 2 gives you just one positive x. And then last but not least, we've got our constants. And for those constants, let's use blue. Negative 5 minus 8. Combine those, you get negative 13. So the answer here is x squared plus x minus 13 is the solution to that subtraction problem. Go ahead and pause now if you need to continue copying down the answers. Otherwise, the video will play on. Okay, class, this is GP number 4. I would like you to please subtract these terms from each other. I have a polynomial with 4 terms, and I'm subtracting a polynomial with 3, also known as a trinomial. Take a moment, please, to pause the video and solve the problem. Hit play to see the solution. So the solution to this video, again, another reminder, you've got your minus sign with a -1. You can use whatever method you need in order to figure out which like terms you're subtracting. Actually, I'm one step ahead. Let me undo this because we need to rewrite the equation so that we have that subtraction done. So 4x to the third plus 4x to the second minus x minus 2 minus 3x squared plus 2x squared minus 2. Notice each of those terms in that trinomial changed because of the negative sign. Now we can combine some like terms. We have our 4x to the third. There's nothing to add to it. Moving on, I have 4x squared and a negative 3x squared, and that gives me a single x squared by itself. I have a negative x and a positive 2x squared. Let's see what happened here. Aha! Looks like I did make a mistake. I apologize, class. Let me go ahead and change this up. It looks like I miswrote. That should be x to the third power. Go ahead and pause the video and amend your work if you have to. Alright, so moving along. 4x to the third minus 3x to the third gives me x to the third power. And then a 4x squared plus 2x squared gives me 6x squared. And then last but not least, well not last, negative x, and there's nothing to add to that, so I'm going to write that by itself. And then a -2 and a -2 gives me -4. I apologize, everyone makes mistakes, so here we go. We've got a solution with 4 terms, and there's our polynomial answer. Go ahead and pause now if you want to continue copying that down, otherwise the video will play on. Okay, class, this will be the last GP today, GP number 5. Please take a moment to copy down the problem and pause the video to work the problem out. For the solution, I have 3a to the third minus 4a to the second plus 3 minus 1 times each of these terms, and there's 4 of them that are going to change. So let me rewrite the problem. 3a to the third minus 4a to the second plus 3 minus a to the third minus 3a to the second plus a and plus 4. Now you just take a moment to combine your like terms. I have 3a to the third minus a to the third. That's 2a to the third. I have negative 4a squared minus 3a squared gives me negative 7a squared. I have positive 3. Oops, don't want to do that one yet. I have a positive a all by itself, nothing to combine to it. And last but not least, I've got a positive 3 and a positive 4. Now notice I'm putting my answers in descending order based on the exponent. That would be your standard form. Alright class, tonight for homework, you guys have page number 571. Make sure you write that down in your planners. Numbers 30 to 44. Please go and try out those problems and check the homework video for help on additional problems. If you still have time in class, feel free to use the textbooks to start your homework assignment.